We good, folks? I think we're good. We're gonna sit for a minute. I've got some plans. Some things I want to do today. We're gonna do our normal thing and just kind of chat it up. Also a bit of dungeon planning. We're gonna kind of mess around with a dungeon building tool that I found online. And actually, this tool is browser based, which, I mean, you know, it's not the greatest, but browser based does mean it's more accessible to everyone, which is always good. It's always a good thing, right? That's what we want. More accessibility. Right? And excuse me, I'm eating. I have to work hard to make sure I eat. All right. And there it is. So, let's see. Let's see what we got going on today. Because I don't know. Well, I do know. I don't know why I say that. I do know. I know that I'm not playing D&D today. Because it's the... Oh, right? It is the second... Yeah. Second Saturday of the month. So we're not playing today. But... I still have stuff that I would like to get planned. Right? So where do I start? I guess I can start with where my players left off last weekend. That way I can kind of keep it fresh and keep track of it in my mind. Where we left off last weekend. Players are... Hello, Scythero! How's it going? Last weekend, my players left off on their way to the Wild Soul Temple. And I believe last week on Saturday, we had planned out a little bit more. We did our blizzard. We did our hella cold blizzard. 16 hours long. And I gotta say, my players made it through spectacularly. They managed to come up with a plan and ideas that would keep them from dying, essentially, by using the tents that they have, as well as a tarp, because one of them has a tarp, the immovable rod, and then a bunch of their extra weapons that they just never used that they had on them. Like a combination of all of that, and they ended up making a shelter out in the middle of a field. Not super great, but they ended up doing it, and then for firewood, they ended up burning like all their extra weapons, like hand axes and quarterstaffs, and what else did they throw in? I think they threw in a crossbow and a longbow, which caused a little bit of an issue, but nothing major. But yeah, they were like, well, we have very, very, very little firewood. Let's sacrifice the weapons that have wood in them. in order to keep a fire going. And I thought that was genius. I thought that was pretty smart. So yeah, it went well. Except for the longbow and the crossbow, because the two people that tossed those in never said a word about unstringing them before they threw them in. Immovable rods provide so much utility. Yeah, no, my players have gotten super creative with it. And actually, it's the barbarian who has it, who is usually using it. But yeah, he's found a lot of creative ways to use it, and it's been great. But yeah, they didn't unstring the crossbow and the longbow before they threw them in, so I was like, okay, well, you didn't say you did it, so you didn't do it. Because I was like, I want a little bit. I want a little bit of fun here. And I mean, you know, string snapped in the fire, releasing tension in the bow and crossbow, and that caused the bent pieces, the bows, caused the bows to straighten out in the middle of the fire, flinging embers and stuff all over the place. But they handled it well. And I just realized I didn't edit my channel point stuff. So let's do that real quick. Because we don't need people trying to drop SAR bombs in the middle of my stream. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it was clever, it was interesting. They used the immovable rod once again. And it's one of those things where I handed it out. I gave it out to them. Actually, I think they bought it. But ever since they bought it, they've found so much utility in it. I'm sitting here going, oh, I hate that they have it now. And I've tried to find, like, I've tried to keep track of it. Like, are you guys actually gonna like lose it? Are you gonna leave it behind? What's the plan here? What are you gonna use this thing for that might end up, you know, causing it to be lost and gone forever? And so far they've been really careful about it and picking it up. And because they bought it, I'm not being too much of a dick about it. It's more like, are you leaving it behind, or? But yeah, so immovable rod, tents, a tarp. They ended up making a bit of a shelter with the tent poles and whatnot. Burned weapons to keep warm. It went pretty well. I did make them roll exhaustion or con saves against exhaustion for their horses, which they did get back. It was just one of those things. It wasn't anything that I was like really expecting to heavily impact them, but wanted it there. Just don't let them get a second rod. That'll break everything. Oh yeah, no. There's only one immovable rod in my game. And there only ever will be one. But yeah, so they got the horses back. They went through the blizzard. A couple of them suffered some exhaustion, but nothing major. It was like one level, essentially. And yeah, the blizzard actually took up a large chunk of time at the table. And it was just them problem solving and sitting there trying to figure things out. And as they found solutions, I was like, okay, well, this solution just bought you, you know, 4 hours of not having to make these con saves because you're able to keep warm enough, bundled all up and huddled together next to a fire that you're actually able to keep going. And yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all. By the time they got to the abandoned camp here, we were pretty well into our session. But they got here, found the lockbox, picked it up, and then just started going. These people don't open things up. They're like, oh, it's a box. Let's grab it, and then let's keep going, and then never open things up. Until I added something little bit special in. These imps. These imps. Hello, Rib Tickles. Welcome. These imps that I was gonna have, steal from the players that they'll encounter in the next day. I realized I don't want them to just appear out of nowhere. So I was looking at the imp stat block, and I saw that they have this shape changer ability, and I was like, okay, normally I just poo-poo. It's hardly combat related, so But I was looking at it and I was like, oh, they could turn into a rat, a raven, a spider, blah 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 blah. And I saw raven. I was like, oh, that would be great, because usually you're not going to question a couple ravens up in the mountains. But if it's 3 of them chasing after, or not chasing after you, but just kind of following you and traveling with you, as some birds will do, especially if they're used to people around. But I was like, you know what? Let's add that little bit in. So I ad-libbed at the table. I did that. I was like, oh, and by the way, while you guys are traveling, that caused the cleric to kind of start questioning. He's like, this is a little weird. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So he's like, I want to cast Detect Magic. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if I would actually consider the shape changer ability magic. I don't think it would, because it's not. It doesn't right here. Any equipment it is wearing or carrying isn't transformed, so it can't take stuff with it into its transformation. Raw shape changing without a sleep isn't magic, or without a, I don't know what slep is. Spell. Oh, okay. Shape changing without a spell isn't magic. Yeah, exactly. So like a druid's shape change. It's not called shape change. Druid shape. I wouldn't consider that magic. It's like a built-in class ability. So yeah, technically, anything that doesn't happen without a spell slot, I wouldn't consider magic. That raises the question of is the dragon's breath magical or not, and blah blah blah. Probably not, because it's more biological. It's probably how I would rule it. And also, welcome Angry Meatball. How's it going? And J-Ron, heyo. I see you, J-Ron. I always see you. But anyway, so shape changer, and I was like, you know what? No. I was like, no. And they're all starting to question it. But I was like, oh, and since you did detect magic, you're picking up magic from all these magical things. And then I like to point at the barbarian's super evil cursed war pick. And I like to do magical auras for detect magic and stuff, as they're exuding power. So these auras actually seem to be lifting off of stuff when they're magical. However, this cursed object, because its entire existence is centered around devouring stuff, I was like, this one's off, because rather than exuding energy, it's actually pulling it in. But anyway, and then I was like, oh, and then this box that you guys picked up, and I was like, there's some magic coming from this box, and that caused them to go, oh, interesting. Well, let's check it out. And then they opened it up, and barbarians went everywhere, and a couple of them hit the rogue, because the rogue opened it up. Hit the rogue in the forehead, and I was like, all right, you're gonna take a point of damage, just for funsies. Wasn't affecting them at all. But yeah, they open it up, and then they look in the mirrored bottom, and then they see Nomad's the bear, Shillelagh's that hawk, Garen is a hare, Kunth is a kangaroo, and Elva is an owl, and I just I left it at that, and they were all like, weird, odd. And then the barbarian was like, well, I know why I'm a bear. Or why it showed a bear for me. But yeah, and then these ravens hanging out the entire time. Angry Meatball, the language distinction in 5e is pretty bad about things that are magic and things that replicate a magic effect and do magic damage. Yeah, it is. It is pretty bad. Let's see. You'd rule shape changer as transmutation magic in your game. Okay. But since you do that with a lot of stuff, it's not really surprising. Makes detect magic better and worse at the same time. Yeah, that's true, because I mean, detect magic would be a good way to tell if somebody's been transformed, but it also means that all you have to do is pop on your your glasses of detect magic, and then all of a sudden, every single druid in the area is burning bright like a star. Yeah, it's weird, and I think it just depends. Me personally, I don't think I would rule that built-in like innate abilities are magic. I wouldn't rule that. I'd say that they're not, especially because we can use dragons as an example, and I guess this is kind of a answer to whether our, is the dragon's breath magical or not. I would rule that if you look at a dragon, its dragon's breath is always separate from its spellcasting abilities, and it'll actually tell you whether something is an innate spellcaster or not. And actually, okay, so the imps don't cast spells, but yeah, typically 5e stat blocks will tell you innate spell casting, and then it'll list the spells that it can cast at what level and all these other things, or however many spell slots they have. And then in a whole other section, there's like the dragon's breath. So yes, Scyther, dragon's breath is a physiological thing. I wouldn't say that it's magical. Is a dragon a magical creature? Sure, I guess. I don't know. It depends on your definition. Magical is real iffy. Either way, here's the thing. So they pop detect magic. I said no. There's no magic on these imps or on these ravens that you're seeing. And they were like, okay, that didn't like dissuade them though. And at a certain point, they ended up taking an insight check on the ravens, and one of them rolled well enough to where I was like, you know what? There is something off about these ravens. Imps know infernal in common, right? Imps know infernal in common. And I'm sitting here thinking, shape changer changes their form to resemble whatever it is, right? I was like, well, does that mean that they can actually communicate with those creatures? Technically, nothing shape changery says that you can communicate with other creatures that you shape change into, right? So I was like, well, okay, so maybe they'd actually be able to talk normally. But in order to keep the guys up, like, to keep that going, what if when they're pretending to be ravens, they're actually, like, pretending to be able to speak like a raven, and they're just going, caw, caw! So I was like, you know what, fuck it. This is fun. It's flavorful. I like it. So with their, one of their high insights, I was like, there's something off, and it's the cause. They look like ravens, but the sound is weird. It's like a raven is imitating a person imitating a raven. Because I was like, yeah, sure, because it technically would be a creature imitating a raven with a raven's voice. So I was like, sure, why not? This is fun. And it caused quite a bit of confusion. I was like, cool, I like confusion at my table. But they were like, okay, well, we're just gonna keep an eye on them. And I was like, all right, fine. So they travel. They keep traveling. These ravens are following them. It was almost nighttime. And they get to a point where they're like, okay, well, let's make camp. It's winter in the mountains. There's not a lot of daylight. So they make camp. And as they're making camp, I have the ravens fly off, and they're like, okay, well, weird, but at least they're gone. They set up camp, and then they're like, all right, it's time to time to dish out or figure out who's doing the watches. I was like, okay, who's doing the watches? They have 2 elves, or two people that can trance. And that's what they went with, because that's the smart thing to do. Which left Kunth taking the first watch, Elva taking the second watch. And I still wanted these imps to steal from the players. So, Kunth takes the first watch, and during her first watch, one of the ravens comes by in the middle of the night. And it just kind of like, I have it hop towards her, let out a loud caw. Who won the tournament yesterday? Concerned Whale did. Concerned Whale won the tournament yesterday, Rib Tickles. So I have the raven hop towards her, kind of just caw in her direction, and she's like, okay. And then I have it hop away. Like I'm trying to get her to follow it. And she follows it. I never said it looks like it's trying to get you to follow it. She just started to follow it. So I had the raven lead her away from camp. In the middle of the night, in the mountains, I had it walk her away. Was it 20 minutes long again? No, it went for the full hour. We only had like 3 players yesterday, actually. So she follows this raven off into the darkness, right? And I ask her how long she's gonna follow it, and she's like, well, I'll follow it for like 200 feet. I was like, okay, so around 200 feet, you finally stop. And it stops and turns and watches you. And as you turn to walk away, it caws at you loudly. And she's like, okay, well, I'll keep following it for a little bit longer. And she went for another like 200 feet or 300 feet. And tried to do the same thing. And so the raven cawed at her again. She's like, okay, well, I'll follow it. And I was like, okay, well, how long are you following it? And she's like, I don't know, like a half hour. I was like, oh, okay. So you walk away from camp for a half hour following this raven. And at a certain point, the raven, no longer like hopping along the ground, getting you to follow it, just takes off and starts to fly off in a direction. And she's like, well, I still try to follow it for that full half hour. I was like, all right. So she follows it for a half hour into the darkness in the mountains in the middle of the night. Loses sight of the raven at a certain point. And she goes, okay, well, I'm gonna go back. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you've been away from camp for an hour, at a minimum, an hour away from camp. I was like, all right, well, eventually you get back. The campfire is burning low, as nobody's been tending it, but you're able to get it back up. And she's like, okay, well, are there any signs of struggle or anything? I'm like, no, everything's fine. She pops her head inside. She checks to see if people are still there. And yeah, they're still there. She's like, okay, cool. And they assume that everything's fine. And then Elva takes the second watch, and, everything goes by fine. And in the morning, they rush, because Kunth is driving the party forward. She's like, I want to go find these ravens. I want to get to where I want to go. She's pushing everybody, and she actually rushes everybody. And I'm like, oh, that's not something that I did. That's not something that I pushed her into either. That's just her as a player making her character be impatient, which really is just her as a player. But she's like, no, I'm impatient. Let's go. I was like, okay, so you're going to rush everybody through picking up camp and getting everything ready? And she's like, yes, I just want to go. All right. They burned their backup weapons, right? Yes, they did. So they pack up all their stuff. They get on the horses and they start riding. the party has a bag of holding. Party has a bag of holding. And a bag of holding is one of those things that it's not hard to figure out if it's a bag of holding, right? So, as they're riding away, because their watch had been away from their camp for a full hour while everybody else slept, or if you want to go, oh, well, the elf was trancing, they're still not aware of their surroundings during their trance. It's sleep, but for 4 hours. And they're just easily woken up out of it. That's it. They start riding, and I'm like, you guys start riding for a little while, and you start to realize something's wrong. I was like, your guys' packs are lighter, and you start patting around, and your coin purses are gone, and you start going through all your stuff. And I was like, pretty much everything small, everything shiny, everything that you would not have noticed right away is gone. So they've still got their armor, they've still got their weapons, they've still got their backpacks, but that bag of holding is gone. All of their money and jewels are gone. All of their spell components are gone. All of their spell foci are gone. Like, everything is gone. Because these two other imps, had a full hour alone with our sleeping players. And with a pretty high stealth, I was like, you know what? Yeah, they're gonna pretty much get everything they want in that amount of time. So they've still got their weapons. They've still got their armor. But almost everything else is gone. And that's where we ended the session. And they were not happy. They were not happy. And then I was talking to my wife about it on our drive home after that. And she's like, no, this sucks. This is the worst thing. She's like, I want my shit back. And I was like, okay, well, you know, how's your character going to react? And she goes, well, honestly, she's probably going to blame the new girl. She's probably going to blame Elva. Because they've only been with Elva for, 2 days at this point. And now all of a sudden, all their stuff is gone. And I was like, okay, I like that. Inner party conflict. Perfect. And then she's sitting there thinking about it. She's like, but that would probably get over pretty quick, because where would she put it all? And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. And I was like, so you wouldn't blame Kunth for, well, I guess she'd have no way of knowing whose watch it happened. But they're gonna be angry. They're gonna be angry at our next game. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great time, and I can't wait to see what they problem solve or how they figure this one out. Luckily for them, on their travels, they are gonna find these 3 imps, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have these imps literally scattering all of their shit everywhere. So a bunch of imps hidden as crows tricked the party out of all their stuff. Essentially, yeah. That's so much better than any imp shenanigans you would have hoped for. I really tried, and it was completely off the top of my head. It was completely improvised. And really the only thing I really improvised was that they are going to appear as ravens. Imps have the ability to be invisible. And that's originally how I was going to run it. I was like, okay, these imps are just going to be invisible and they're going to steal their shit. Cool, I guess. But to introduce them as ravens first, in order to build up to, I guess, a plan for the imps to be able to separate whoever's watching, or try to find a way to take advantage of the party so they can just steal all their stuff. I was like, that's impish. That's better. That helps make it feel more. I almost said deserved, and that's not what I want to say. But it helps it feel more real, I guess. Make them, the imps, super clumsy just to add to the humiliation. Yeah, so what's gonna happen is when they find these imps, because they are, I'm not just gonna steal all of the party's money and all of their stuff and just be like, yeah, well, you fucked up, you don't get any of your shit back. That's never my plan. The plan is to fuck with them. I'm not there to make their lives hell. I'm there to make their lives miserable. I guess there's a difference, right? So these imps obviously are going to want to know what's in the bag of holding. They're going to want to know everything that they gathered. And in my game, to a reasonable degree, coin purses are essentially small bags of holding that only work for coins. Because I'm not calculating coin weight, it's a super lame thing to do. Unless it's extremely, like, unreasonable. Somebody comes across a dragon's hoard and there's millions upon millions of, you know, gold and platinum. Then I'm like, you're not getting all of it unless you guys are making multiple trips. You know, we're taking those rules, we're applying them because we want some realism. We want some reasonable or reasonability to our campaign. But no, these imps are definitely going to end up scattering all of this shit. And they're probably going to keep all the stuff that they want to keep. And then they're going to throw away all the shit that they don't. Which means that today, and actually I should text everybody and say, bring your character sheets. I'm gonna text them. I'll do it right now, actually. I'll text them and I'll tell them to bring their character sheets so I can look over it and see what all in their inventory is going to get scattered, and then what the imps are going to kind of like stash away somewhere. Yeah, let me do that right now. But yeah. Really, it's just my wife and I guess there's more of us that actually would have to bring character sheets, since two of them live at the place where we're going. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through their inventory. That'll be real quick. And then they'll have a nice little encounter of one, probably finding their stuff scattered all over the mountains. Two, wondering where the fuck all of their money went. And three, getting to kill the imps that caused them this trouble. So that'll be next week when we play again. Which I think is actually on my birthday. Yeah. So that'll be cool. And then next week, so it's going to be them finding their stuff. It's going to be them finding the imps. It'll be them encountering these wild soul spirits up in the mountains that are kind of be like, hey, buddy, no, you don't want to go this way. There's bad shit this way. But never verbal, because verbal is they'll encounter the two ice golems, of which I have literally no explanation for. I've been trying to think of something, but I can't. Although I guess all it could be is just a creation from another devil that was up there, and it was just like, yeah, stuff to fuck with people. So maybe that's all the explanation I need. And then yeah, they'll get to the Wild Soul Temple. So on to the juicy part, right? On to the juicy part, because I don't have it's just the ice golem's natural habitat. Yeah, it's also they live there, that's it. I could do that. It's also a somewhat well-traveled path, or at least it still is, because it's only been a couple months since nobody's been traveling it. So why would there be ice golems there unless they were put there by the monks? And I was like, well, I don't think I think the golems are kind of, they wouldn't naturally be there, because then they'd come into conflict with the monks. Because golems aren't, I wouldn't consider golems to actually be part of like anything nature-y. They're definitely magical. They're definitely like, you know. I have rifts opening up all over the world, so I could just be like, oh yeah, there's a rift up here, and that's where they came from. I could do that. But then that means I also have to put a rift up there, and then account for changes in the world because of it. Or I could be like, well, you know, they were just created by the devils. And actually, as I'm sitting here thinking of it, I kind of like that. So maybe I'll include the ice golems as being outside of because they're going to be outside of the temple, like just outside. The ice golems will be there. Oh, this would add a lot of flavor to them too. Ooh, and it'd be pretty brutal. The ice golems were created by the devils because, you know, there are ice devils and all of that, and some devils have magic. Why not? And I don't have to go by the books. I can make up my own devils. So that's it. There's a devil in existence that is able to use lots of ice magic, and hey, it wanted to make golems. Or maybe it just does golem magic and there was ice nearby and that's how it happened. Doesn't matter. Golem devil. Golem creating devil. There's my explanation. And the golems were created to prevent anybody running away from the temple from actually getting away. And that's why nobody actually knows about the devil attack at this temple. That kind of works. And then I can take those ice golems and I can flavor them up a little bit and be like, oh yeah, there's like corpses on the ice spikes on the back of these golems, and make it super brutal, and just be like, this normally bluish ice is slightly tinted red as yeah. You guys see where it's going. Rib Tickles. You're a part of a Mines of Phandelver campaign soon, and you're thinking about playing a Goliath Barbarian, as most barbarians are. Just finished the Hero Forge character, and you think it's your favorite one you made so far in Hero Forge? Ooh, let's see it. I'm actually interested in this one. And are you okay with me showing it on stream, Rib Tickles? And yes, I'll always look at your Hero Forge minis, your Hero Forge creations, because it can give me good ideas about other NPCs. It's still very God of War-y. I gotta say, Rib Tickles. And actually, it's very reminiscent of my own player's Goliath Barbarian. The beard and the bald head. Okay. Yeah. There we go. This is Rib Tickle's creation. The beard, the bald head, the tattoos. These are all very yeah. It's still very God of War. It's still very Kratos. Which is funny because he likes God of War, and I think he's got like actual like $100 or $200 miniatures for like decoration around his house. It looks like most Goliaths you've seen. Yeah. Okay, but I am curious, Rib Tickles. I see armor here. Would your Goliath not be unarmored? And I know everybody's like unarmored defense. I'm not a fan of unarmored defense, because especially for the Goliaths, monk, sure, whatever, because it's easy. For the Goliaths or for the barbarians, you're working 3 stats. You're working 3 stats for your unarmored defense, and then being able to attack real good. If you're a min-maxer, barbarian unarmored defense is like the worst thing to have to work with if you don't roll well enough for it. Monk unarmored defense, a lot easier because it just runs off of dexterity and wisdom, both of which the monk is using anyway. So the monk is a 2-stat class. Rogue is a 1-stat class. That's why it's the easiest to play in anything ever and the easiest to make it super OP. But yeah. So I'm just curious. If you're going with actual armor on your barbarian, I love it. I love it. I want to see more armored barbarians. Not every barbarian has to be unarmored. Scythro, you have a tavern brawler Goliath NPC who goes by Stallstern, steel forehead, and is infamous for headbutts. Just a big rectangle tattoo on the forehead. I like it. I like it. He has leather armor. Cool. Cool. I like the idea of armored barbarians because not all barbarians are going to be unarmored, and everybody does that. So I like that. A Goliath barbarian, though, I mean, are you Grog? Are you literally every other Goliath barbarian that anybody's ever made? Me, I like my gnome barbarian. My gnome barbarian's one of my favorites because he was an unarmed gnome barbarian. And that made for a lot of fun. Also, challenge the norms. Obviously, every single class is going to have a stat that they absolutely have. Like wizards have to have intelligence. Bards have to have charisma, but it's usually just because they're spellcasters. If you want a spellcaster that runs off of wisdom, do druid or cleric. You're not going to be missing anything out of the wizard stuff. And thanks for thanking the bot. If you want to run a spellcaster that uses their... Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah. Spellcasters, they're all pretty much the same. It just depends on what stat you want to use. But as for the more martial classes, spellcasters are a bit more rigid in what they can do or what they can select for ASI. Yeah, that's true. But I really, really like dexterity based fighters. I really like everybody does bows for their rangers, and I think it's because range is in the name. But do more dual wielding rangers. Do more two-handed rangers, folks. Two-hand your long swords. Be Aragorn. Aragorn fought primarily with a blade. He did use a bow, but it was not often. Mix it up. Try to deviate from the norm. Marshals, you have a difference in what you can pick as the key stat. Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you, Stream Elements is a bit you do in one of your friends' streams. No, it's good. I like it. Scythro. Keep it up. More two-handed fighting. Yeah. He is a part of a warrior tribe. He was framed for murder and was kicked from the clan. Now his drive is to find the man or woman who framed him. Oh. All right. That's a good backstory start. It's a good backstory start. It's good because it gives you a reason to actually travel the world. Ideally, you would have a lead, or you would be searching for a lead. So I'm hoping that your DM includes some kind of a lead in the Mines of Phandelver and doesn't just run it as it was written. But we'll see. Also, the clan is very honorable. Yeah, I like that. Oh, and welcome, Concerned Whale. It didn't register. Welcome. Thanks for showing up today. Okay, so the meat of what I want to do today. Because honorable things are cool. Yes, they are. One, I want to show off this puzzle that I'm still mid build on it, but it's mostly done. 1 second. So, my players a while ago picked up a box, and in this box, and I showed this off in that Discord. So some of you may have seen it. I know Concerned Whale has seen it. But my players had picked up a box at some point. And in this box, they finally opened it up. And in this box, they found essentially it's a key. I didn't describe it as a key, but it's a key to me. It's a disc with 4 pegs on one side, and then on the other side, kind of a handle-ish thing. And that key is for this temple. And that key is going to, and I apologize, it's not perfect. It's nowhere near perfect, but that key is going to end up going into this thing. And it's my star sign puzzle, because it's the Temple of the Wild Soul, but the martial arts school thing that they practice there is the way of the astral monk. Okay? They get in touch with their astral selves. They get in touch with nature around them. They get in touch with the spirits around them and the spirit within themselves. So, way of the astral monk. Because of that, I wanted a puzzle in this dungeon that we're about to start working on. And this is the puzzle I went with. A star sign puzzle. What this star sign puzzle is a series of rings, all centered around one point. It's very like, it's very Puzzle Door from Skyrim, where that had only 3 rings, and it was mostly, oh, you just need the code. This one's more about actually aligning everything to create the star sign. So when I drop it in front of them, it's gonna be all mixed up, and it's gonna likely look something like this. Okay, but as they go about messing with it, I'm not going to tell them their goal unless they're really struggling with it. And it's not, I wouldn't say this is extremely difficult. I'd say this is a fairly easy puzzle. But I guess it all depends, because it's really only going to be easy if you know what you're looking for, right? So, as I align all of these pieces, I'm going to show you guys what they are going to be wanting to look for. And what they're going to want to be looking for is this star sign. Right? This star sign. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'll tell you right now. This is a star sign modeled after Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, which we've all seen. It's that picture of a dude with 4 arms and 4 legs, and he's just kind of spread out, right? That's what that is. That's what that is. So, their goal is going to be to make that and then put the key in the center, because aligning all the rings is what's going to allow the key to actually be usable. And I chose the Vitruvian Man because I know that the way of the astral monk, or whatever is it astral body? It's something. It gives the monks extra arms and extra legs and like all of that. So I was like, that kind of fits, right? It all kind of fits. It's visually pretty similar. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Astral self, yeah. So way of the astral self. I was like, this fits. Hold on, going to D&D Beyond. But I was like, sure. Let's do this. This is exactly what I want to do. So yeah, there's my puzzle. There's my puzzle. Self is correct. Cool. So yeah, that's my puzzle that they're gonna have to solve. When they solve that puzzle, that's what's going to give them access to these various treasures and whatnot. When they get to the puzzle, they are going to encounter this bone devil there, rather irritated that he can't get in here. And because he's a devil, is he going to attack right away? No, he's not going to attack right away. He's going to try to, be diplomatic about it. Be like, hey, if you help me, I can help you, da-da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. Of course, this bone devil is the reason why everybody in this monk temple is dead or gone or, whatever. But the barbarian is going to want answers as to where his brother is. So, his adopted brother. So, I'm going to give him that option. I'm going to give him the option. I'm going to be like, you know what? You help this bone devil get in here and steal the stuff that's in there. And he might tell you he'll tell you what happened to your brother. He'll tell you if your brother's dead or not. Of course, devils are liars too. If they do help the devil get in, then he's likely just going to lie to provoke the barbarian. I'll have to work out something to try to get the barbarian to sell his soul, right? Something to get the barbarian to sell his soul. Because I want devils to make deals. I want devils to make deals. So that's kind of how I'm gonna play it. This bone devil I'm not gonna play it as just constantly aggressive. As soon as it sees anything that isn't it's gonna attack. No. These things are here for a reason. They have an agenda, and I want to keep that in mind when I play them. So yeah, we'll see. If the players decide to attack, well then they're gonna have to fight a bone devil and a couple imps and a lemure. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's written in a book and nobody ever says it, so tell him that he can meet Shroomy. Shroomy is not devil. Shroommy's not devil related. Shroommy's demon related. The great Shroomy is actually technically more closely related to what is it? Zugtmoy? The demon lord? Are the devils that have princes and the demons that have lords? I can't remember. Oh, well, then I might pray to him more now. That works. But let's see. Let me see here. Okay. So, he's a kind of demon. Does the devil actually know anything about the brother? Honestly, probably not. But that's the thing. Devils are liars. Devils are manipulators. Devils are gonna do whatever they can to get what they want, right? But devils typically also have to work within contracts. Not actual written contracts, but they still have to work within contracts because devils are lawful, right? Devils are lawful. That doesn't mean the devil can't be chaotic, but this devil is lawful because he has a reason to be there. So does he know anything about the brother? No. He knows that a couple people from the temple got away. He knows that they killed a lot of others. He knows that they turned a few of them into devils, into those minor like bottom rung devils, those lemurs. But he doesn't know who's who. He doesn't care. He's just there to recruit. You like the idea of devils also being bound to their deals and promises? Them just lying doesn't feel right. That's the thing. So lying, once they're in a contract or an agreement, no, they can't lie about that kind of I don't know. It's there to mislead. So they can lie to get into a contract that benefits them better. So the contract, the verbal contract would literally just be, you know, where's my brother? Did you kill my brother? And the devil would just go, well, you know, you help me do this and I'll tell you what I know. Super vague, super open. The devil will literally just say, I don't know who your fucking brother is, but he's maybe one of these dead. He might be one of these turned. Who knows? And that's the information that the barbarian would get, because that's the kind of thing that you get out of devil deals. You always get fucked. You always get screwed. Always read the fine print, and typically, fine print is never actually written. And that's what we're gonna run. So yes, devils lie. They're evil, right? Devils lie. Oh, I thought they were just random. No. Avatar Air Temple style. Adopt a Momo. No, not lemurs. The lemurs or lemures or I don't know. I know that it's not lemur. But they're the bottom rung devil, right? They're the slop that just crawled out of the river Styx after selling their soul to have another chance at life, right? That's what they are. So they're devils. They're just real dumb, they're real slow, they're real weak, they are nothing. The funny thing is, they're immortal. As all devils are, unless they're killed within the 9 hells. And since we're not in the 9 hells, well. But yeah, lying has to be a part of the devils. They have to be able to mislead and lie and weasel their way out of actually being helpful ever and only ever getting what they want. That should be their goal. They are selfish, but they do have rules, right? Demons are prince, devils have lords. What? Oh, demons are prince, devils have lords. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Lords of the 9. That'll help me remember. Yeah, demon princes, devil lords of the 9. Yeah, that'll help me remember. You wouldn't call withholding information lying, promising to tell them all what they know while knowing nothing, and then revealing nothing fits devils definitely. Okay, see, perfect. So we're on the same page. We're on the same page. It's not gonna be like because his brother's alive. Because I need his brother. I need his brother. So his brother's alive. But no, it's not gonna be like you know, they help the devil and the devil's gonna go, oh yeah, your brother, I know him. I cut his head off and put it on a pike 3 miles back. Like, no. He doesn't, this devil doesn't know. So, when it gets to that point, if it gets to that point and they don't just straight up attack, if it gets to that point, this devil's literally gonna tell them, here's what I know. I don't know your brother, so I couldn't tell you. That's it. And that's really, a lot of the time, that's all you have to do with devils. Make them promise stuff that they actually can't, make them promise to help with things that they can't help with, or make them promise to give information that they just don't have. But don't ever say, oh, I'll tell you, I'll be very specific. Don't ever make your devils say, I'll be very specific with the information I'm going to tell you. Make it broad, make it vague, but make it convincing. Because a lot of the time, the players aren't going to sit there, unless you're constantly throwing devils at them, and then they're going to go, yeah, I want this in writing. I want an actual written contract. I want to see all the fine print, and we're going to hold you to exactly everything that you write down here. At that point, if your players are demanding that, Either one of them is a lawyer, or or you're throwing devils and devil deals at them too much. And in that case, that's probably where the devil would get aggressive and just go, you know what? If you don't trust me, you know, I'll make you agree to a deal. And then and then there's combat, and it'll be more like devils won't kill, they'll torture. They will subdue and they'll torture in order to get what they want, because what devils want is souls, right? No matter what, devils always want souls. If you're going by the books, if you're going by the actual Wizards of the Coast lore, devils want souls to help bolster their army. If you want to go by your own lore, maybe devils want souls to bolster themselves. And you know what? Devils often need souls to make themselves stronger and grow into new devil forms or anything like that. Either way, that's usually the currency. More often than not, that's the currency. 99.99999% of the time, the currency is souls. So make sure that's what your devils are actually going after. Yeah, anyway, that's my rant about devils. So let me grab this. I talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the stream, and it's something that I have absolutely no experience with. Okay, so we're gonna be learning this together. But what I want to do is I want to try to build a dungeon, or we're gonna kind of explore around with this tool that I found. This tool being found literally 5 minutes before my stream. This tool being Dungeon Scrawl. It looks to be a web-based dungeon creation tool, like a dungeon mapping tool. So I'm gonna drag it over, and we're gonna kind of mess with it and see what exactly we can do. Okay. So we've got Dungeon Scrawl here. And right off the bat, I like what I see because I like stuff that gives me a grid. Okay. And whoo, that is bright. So you'll have to deal with me being extra white today. But I like things that give us a grid. And you can find this. You've seen this before, Rib Tickles? Cool. So maybe you can help guide me through the tools and all of that. I'm hoping this is really easy to use. And actually, looking at the UI already, I see, yeah, rectangle, drag and drop, path creation, more freeform polygon creation, regular polygon creation, looks like freeform wall creation, door drops, stairs, a mirror. Oh, see, I've used a mirror before. I actually used a mirror in a one shot with somebody because I was helping them learn D&D stuff. So I was like, let's do a one shot, and I'll just create this dungeon for you to go through. One super linear dungeon, but I did use a mirror at the end, and it was like a mirror torch puzzle thing. And I don't remember exactly how it worked, but it was, one wall of this room was mirrored, and then there were like 4 torches around the room, and it was like a process of lighting and putting out the torches to make things work, which ended up with him fighting his reflection at the end when the mirror was broken. So mirrors are cool. I like that. And then what is this? Select? Click drag to define a selection polygon. Okay, so that might be a good way of just clearing stuff out. I think that's not a mirror mechanic, but mirroring tool. Oh, is it? Click drag to set 2 points defining the mirror line. Works best if nothing is on the other side. Ooh, you might be right. Here, let's play with it. Let's play. Oh my god. And look, the dot doesn't drag with the mouse. It automatically snaps to intersections and like midpoints. Oh, I already like this a lot. A lot. And I know that... Oh, this is really cool. This is really cool. Okay, let's do this. I don't know what I'm doing. So, okay. Rectangle brush. What if we do something like that? Oh my god. I already love this. I already love this so much. What if I do something like that? Okay, so it keeps the wall. It keeps the wall. What about, oh. Whoops. Is there an undo? Probably. I don't think I can. Oh yeah, there's my undo. Oh no, that's not it. Oh, neat. So wait, hold on. What if I want like a small path to come out of this? Will this actually write a path? Oh, it does. Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. I really like this. What if I have it overlap? What if I have it overlap? I want to see if it'll erase a wall. Oh, okay. So I really like this already. This is super simple too. This is super simple. Oh, I can zoom out too. How big can I? Oh, this map is huge. Okay, so I also know that when they kind of advertise this as sorry, I'm messing with stuff. Can I just no, I can't. So I know that they advertise this as being able to export the maps that you make, and you can use them in like different tabletop RPGs and stuff like that. Hell, I'd probably even just print these out, honestly. But also you can export them to like Roll20 and stuff like that. So this is really neat. I'm really happy that I found this. This already is gonna get bookmarked for me. Already. Oh, you can change. Oh, you can change where it snaps. Oh, I'd keep it on the half, honestly. I don't want to get too crazy. Oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so. But yeah, mirrors are awesome. A player of yours shattered a magic mirror while it showed his reflection, so he went down and the others had to reassemble the mirror. Interesting. Sadly, they lost a piece, so now the mirror guy has a shard-shaped void hole in their chest. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. What was the connection? What was the connection from or between the mirror and the players? Or was it just something there and it was kind of like now I'm curious. Was the mirror always gonna break? Or did they break it on purpose because they just wanted to? How are they gonna fix that? Or is there a way that they're gonna fix that? There's a lot of questions there that I have. A lot of questions. Okay. So, actually, what I want to do, I want to kind of zoom out, and we're gonna keep this snap on because I like snaps. Rectangle brush. I'm gonna need a kind of a courtyard, right? How big should I make this? 32? Oh, it even shows you the dimensions. Oh, this is amazing. They were sent into a possessed art gallery and had to find the source of the possession. And there was just a bunch of weird magic stuff around. Oh, neat. Okay, let's say this area is roughly I don't know how big that is now. 45 by 36. Okay. That's a big area, right? 45 by 36. What is that? $45 times 5, 225. Okay. That's not bad. And we go roughly. You know what? Actually, oddly enough, everything in my world seems to be on a 5x5 grid, or yeah, a 5x5 grid. Couldn't tell you why. Could not tell you why. But we'll kind of start with that. So, we're gonna have and this is kind of iffy because this is supposed to be empty space, right? This is empty space. This is not empty space. I want the opposite of this. But this works. So we are going to have, but they were specifically asked not to destroy any artworks. Oh, okay, hold on. They were sent into a possessed art gallery and had to find the source of the possession, and there was just a bunch of weird magic stuff around. Okay. But they were specifically asked not to destroy any artworks that were unrelated to the possession, and the character thought it was because the mirror showed him with a pained, distorted face. Ooh, that's tricky. That's tricky. Definitely. I think you definitely tricked your player. I'm not saying you were wrong to do it, but you definitely tricked your player. Let's do 20. Wait, hold on. Hold on. How do I want to do this? Okay. So let's do that. And then we're gonna do that, kind of. That should roughly be center. Which is actually just the art installation. Interesting. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Can I? Oh, neat. Whoops. So undo that. Okay. Oh, I can't move the I can't move the map around, can I? Okay, that's okay. This tool looks really good. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by it. Oh, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. I'm using it differently. I'm definitely using it differently because you're not supposed to. I'm using it more as like carving stuff out, right? I'm definitely carving stuff out because if I have this huge space right here, if I do this, it doesn't do anything. Oh, actually, there's an idea. What if we do carve everything out? Or we carve everything out and then we build out of that. Okay. So, now we go to erase. And we can build our kind of monk temple 48 by 35? Sure. So that erased. We switch back to actually creating stuff, which we're going to use as our erase. To cut that out. There. Now I have walls. So what if I do out to about there, 22? Oof. The only issue is it's web-based, right? The only issue is it's web-based. Because of that, we're subject to all sorts of lag and stuff like that. Oh, 22 was too far. What if we do 20? Or maybe it was the lag that caused me to... Oh, no. I still held on to it pretty well. Okay. So there's that, and then we're gonna do this, so we don't leave any lines behind. There. So now we've got we've got a wall. You should test the way it exports if you're not using it the intended way. Yeah, no, that's true. Well, okay, so here's the thing. This tool, definitely the way that it works, it's definitely made to be doing dungeons, right? Down underground, in caves, that kind of thing, where stuff actually would be cut out of material. However, I'm using it for buildings and structures above ground. So these walls, I actually want to be solid walls, right? Because they're supposed to be the walls around an empty area where everybody would be able to walk, except for various like buildings here and there, so on and so forth. Hello, Zakora. Welcome. Yeah, welcome to the stream. If you like D&D and tabletop stuff and all of that, you know, stick around. I've got plenty of ideas to share. We're currently working on building a dungeon. It's above ground. It's open world. Really, we're creating structures. You like it but never played? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, maybe we'll have to get a group of people together for like playing a online game. Trying to get into it, so you're looking around Twitch. Well, welcome. I know a lot of the other folks on Twitch that are streaming D&D stuff are actually playing. Here we're doing a lot of planning and explaining stuff. So if you have questions, please feel free to shoot the questions at me or shoot them at the chat, and we are always happy to answer in whatever way we can. Finding a group seems hard, though, especially as a new player. It can be hard, but there are a lot of tools out there. To be able to help you find a group. The hardest part isn't finding a group, but finding a group that works for you. So going a little more specific. Just because there are a lot of groups out there, but not every single one works. If you're looking for a party, the Roll20 LFG forums are a good place to start. Yes, Scythrow is completely correct on that. That is a good place to start. Fantastic place to start. Okay, so I want a nice wide gate. Although 20 foot wide gate seems a lot, doesn't it? So maybe we'll only make it 10 foot wide. Yeah, that makes it seem a lot bigger, right? Makes it seem a lot bigger. You're on Roll20, but so far the biggest issue is time zones. Yeah, time zones are gonna wreck everything you do online. But no, you'll find it. There's a lot of other stuff as well, not just the Roll20 LFG stuff, but there are different like group apps and group websites, like group finding websites that aren't just for tabletop games, but they're just social group websites, but a lot of them will have people featuring their D&D games, or like looking for players for this, or there's sections for that kind of thing. So there's a lot of options out there, a lot of options. Reddit has a lot of ways to find groups and stuff like that. Lots of stuff. Scyther had to scroll for a bit to find a game that works for you. All the American games start after 1 a.m. Ouch. Although I'm West Coast USA, and we don't actually start our game until like 7 p.m. because of everybody's work schedules. Really, my wife's work schedule, which my wife should be getting a better position, which gives her better hours, which means I don't have to play D&D until midnight anymore. Ask me 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been a problem. Now that I have kids and responsibilities in the morning, no, I can't be out until 2 a.m. Especially since I have to drive an hour to get to my game and then an hour back. You saw a campaign today that sounded great for you. Starts at 4 a.m. your time. I'm sorry to hear that, but Zakora, you will find a group at some point. If you don't mind me asking, what time zone are you in, or what part of the world are you in? We don't need your specific address. Scythro, now your accent has become so much more British. Germany. Well, welcome from Germany. Welcome from Germany. Welcome from Germany. And I forgot I have the rest of my sandwich to eat. PB&J. Okay. So. Yep, name is based on your professional Wild Rift times. Nice. Okay. We have people from every part of the world? Yeah, as we should. As we should. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to create off of this center point here. But we are going to make... Hey, first things first, we're going to make a bunkhouse, okay? I never actually decided how many people were going to be at this monk temple. So how many people should we have? I need an idea as to how many people we should have. 6, that's 30. 30 good enough? Is 30 good enough? I used to live in a kind of a bunkhouse for like 6 months. I went to Job Corps, learned some carpentry, and I lived in a bunkhouse while I did it because it was up in a national forest on a mountain. It sounds really weird. I'm trying to remember how big that place was. It was pretty long, but we also had like 90 guys in that one building. And it was something like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 guys to one room. It was a lot of bunk beds. We don't necessarily need that much for this monk temple. So what if it's more like 30 by 55, right? We'll do 30 by 55. And then we're going to erase. Or we're not going to erase. We're going to cut it out. This will give us... really, it's a super thick wall, but we're not going to count it as 2.5 feet thick. That would be ridiculous. Although, hold on. Can I... Oh, no, I probably can't. Can I? I can. Okay, cool. So, woo, chat is scrolling. God, we have the U.S., Canada. Wonder who that guy is. And now Germany. Yeah. You want to introduce a few friends to TTRPGs by playing a few one-shots soon, if that sounds good for you. Rib Tickle says 8 people. Never tried with one-shot either, so I have no clue how they even work. For now, I kind of try to get the player's handbook down into my brain. That's rough. That can be rough. Or maybe 6 in one room and 9 in the other. Rib Tickles, you're so funny. It wouldn't even be D&D, just a simple system that doesn't distract from roleplay. That's good. Just getting comfortable with playing a character, you know. And Rib Tickles has a new Hero Forge character. Let's see what it is. This is a very dark and edgy something. I'm gonna load it over here. Zakora has never RP'd before. Oh my. Ooh, Rib Tickles. I like this one. It's very Jack of Blades from Fable. It's very Jack of Blades. I like that. A one-shot is basically a self-contained adventure. Yeah, Scythero's right. And a one-shot might be good for you, Zakora. Just to help you learn the ropes. I love that name. Funny thing is, I didn't even really think about a character I want to play, but already made a scenario in my head I'd love to play. Oh, okay. Actually, funny thing, I've recommended, especially for people that have never role-played before, that want to jump into playing D&D or any other tabletop RPG, it doesn't have to specifically be D&D. Technically, they're all the same in that you're going to a table, you're rolling dice, and you're playing pretend. That's it. But I've recommended to people that are new to it, for their first character, play yourself. Play yourself and let yourself roleplay with the other players' characters. That should be a good introduction to it, because then that takes the pressure of trying to figure out somebody else's personality and fitting that in with your own. And it also means that you don't have to worry about constantly working on an accent to improve your role-play, where it draws you in. I forgot the word. But yeah, my suggestion, play yourself. Let other people around you play whoever they want to be, and then focus on how you would react in that situation. And if you want to get really, really good at role-playing, don't treat it like it's completely a game. Like, I mean it. Have your character, or have yourself in game, react as you would if you actually were in that situation. Just my suggestion. For your first character, you were kind of thinking copying your favorite character from any book series. Yeah, you could do that as well. Scythro says D&D is not a good place to start. The rules are restricted, but many options distract from roleplay. Yeah. Also, it's not much of a commitment if you end up not enjoying it. Yeah, that's true. Also, you can find Wizards of the Coast has like the basic rules published for free online. You can find those, and that's really all you need to start playing. And Scyther is going to complain about D&D and restrictiveness and all this other stuff. But my view is Dungeons and Dragons, just like any other tabletop RPG, is only ever going to be as restrictive as you let it be. You know? A one-shot is probably your best shot to get into it. Yeah, one-shots are great. One-shots are good. They're fun. They're fast-paced. Or at least they should be. So far, you were only thinking about a campaign, but one-shots make more sense. Yeah, one-shots are good, like, a good way to jump into it and try things. Rib tickles. If I were to see a dragon or any monstrosity, I'd just leave as the ground around me goes yellow with apple juice. Don't spill your apple juice. It attracts ants. But yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah. Why is it... Okay, well, I know why it is. Because in RPGs like this, you want to play the hero. You want to play somebody that's brave and, you know, runs headfirst into danger and all this other stuff. Sure, do it. But generally, yeah, the general public are going to run. The internet also got the Complete Player's Handbook, which I stumbled across somehow. Oh, yes. I own Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and Dungeon Master's Guide. But I may have found PDFs of all three at a certain point. And I'll leave it at that. But stuff's out there. Also, there's a whole website. There's a whole website that the legality behind it is kind of iffy, but has everything from every single 5e book published on there. You can find that for almost every other RPG game out there as well. Or play a cocky dumbass. Yeah, you absolutely could. Would be impossible for your character. Lore-wise, she got a sword that basically blocks you from feeling fear in any form. That is powerful, and clear that with your dungeon master first, or your game master first. Again, you're planning to introduce a few friends to TTRPGs soon. If that sounds interesting, yeah, hook up with Zakora. You may have just found your party. You may have just found your party in Scythro. You own the Monsters Manual. Good. That's still the least powerful sword in the story. Fear is a powerful tool in a tabletop game. Depending on the system. Oh yeah, Scythro asking the real questions. Can the immune to fear be turned on and off? One sword that basically makes you a god. Nice. What series is this, Zokora? I love just playing some cocky idiot who is charismatic. As long as you're not annoying at the table, Rib tickles. Sandwich. Oscar Saga from Richard Schwartz. Interesting. For anybody that likes to read, that might be an interesting one to check out. I've heard of other book series that center around powerful swords, and that one sounds familiar. There's lots of book series out there, or, you know, single books that center around super powerful swords and all of this. Yeah, I know they can be really, really interesting, because then it's not the characters that are super overpowered, it's these things that can actually be transferred and stolen and so on and so forth, and it's very Harry Potter Elder Wand-esque-ish, that kind of thing. That's always cool. It's always good. You're not IRL, but your character during RP moments sure as hell is. Well, you know what that means, Rib Tickles? That means you are IRL. You just don't do it. That's the thing. I've known a lot of people that are more introverted and they get drawn towards playing D&D because it lets them pretend to be somebody that they're not, but that person that they're pretending to be is still within them. And that's why a lot of people that play RPG games and people that play and role play heavily, they end up socially doing better in their outside lives, out in the real world, at their job, anything like that. It definitely helps a lot. Only thing you really homebrew is magic weapons? Ooh. Scythro, we gotta get you homebrewing creatures. Alright. Sandwich is gone. We can kind of call this barracks. I want a courtyard. I do want a courtyard, but I also want sorry, I'm following this all the way up. Oh god, I love this. I love this so much. No. Yes? $16 by $11? Let's do that. Oh no, I didn't do it right. Oh no, we need to erase. We're gonna go up here, start there, 16 by 11. Right? And then if I start here, I want to do 17 by 11. Okay. Not bad, not bad. We're gonna do this. Oh, no. Hold on. Seven? Cool. So we're making the actual, like, the meat of the temple now. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. Not like she would do. Who's calling you annoying, Rib Tickles? And no, nobody uses Tumblr anymore. Zokora, the scenario you thought about you'd love to play would be a kind of a sequel to that series. Those magic swords are also tied to a god, by the way, while one god can have more than one sword dedicated to them as well. Neat. Scythro, you did make a really fun creature once to introduce players to combat mechanics. It was a golem with a rotating wheel in its chest that had 4 elemental runes on it. I'm going to steal this idea already. Depending on what rune faced front, it would have different abilities like heal, knockback, grapple, AC increase, etc. I like that. Every turn the wheel would turn clockwise, so the players had to get creative trying to plan for the next rune. I like that. I'm gonna steal that. Scythro. I'm gonna steal that. Hold on. Where's my notes? Random notes. Golem with rotating runes abilities. Cool. Love it. Hello, Trash Tendo. How's it going? That's the point. Yes, I have a really bad memory, so don't take it personally if I forget how long it's been or what we last talked about. But I recognize the name. I know you've been here before. So welcome Trash Tendo. Welcome back. That creature reminds me of the Phantom from Kingdom Hearts. You're late because you played as a DM yourself. Nice. How did it go? How did it go? And let's hollow this place out now. So if I do this, it should keep the walls, right? Yes. Cool. I love this tool already, you guys. I absolutely love this tool already. Let's get rid of that wall because we don't need it. Because right now we're doing outlines of buildings within this area. Oh my holy salami, my freaking connection is dead. I'm sorry, Trash Tendo. You made me freak out for a second, and some made me double check my connection. Okay. Sorry, I'm double checking stuff here and there. Okay. So, doing outlines for the building. We are going to... I don't know. I want to have a couple other buildings here. But I guess I wouldn't really need a whole lot. So we've got the main temple-ish. This is outlining the entire courtyard. What do we need here? What do we need? So we've got the temple. We've got, worship, training, etc., etc. We've got a courtyard for various other things here and there, blah blah blah. But barracks, that's just sleeping quarters. I guess they need somewhere to eat, right? Or maybe there's a training yard over here, more specifically. But everyone loved the round D&D you played. You felt honored? Good. Hey, as long as you had fun and as long as your players had fun, that's all that matters, and that's the sign of a successful game. So congratulations. And it don't load, so you can't hear me. I'm sorry, Trash. Scythro, you found your Roll20 sheet for the Golem. Can you link a screenshot to Twitch chat? You can try. You can try. But yeah, I'd be down to see that sheet. Yeah, maybe a training yard kind of thing. Specifically training yard. Unless the entire area here was a training yard. We could do that. That wouldn't be terrible. What are we gonna put over here, though? I guess they'd need somewhere to, like, eat. When did you plan on doing that? Okay. Yeah, maybe somewhere to eat. So, am I still... Yeah, I'm still cutting stuff out. So, right now, our erase is our build. We'll kind of we'll kind of work it like this a bit. So maybe what we're gonna do is something like, no, that's too big. That's too big. Or hold on. So I want kind of a cafeteria gathering hall area ish thing. I don't know. But what if we had it kind of like this, right? And I guess we can also build out on this one. You know what? I like that. I like the way that looks. Okay. So then we go back to not erasing. And we'll cut this out. Leaves the outline. Perfect. Now for this, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these out separately, but I'm going to leave the division there because I think I do want a wall there. I think I do want a wall there. Oh boy. Also says you're German, including friends. Is it going to be in English or German? Oh, that's a good question. Scythro DMs 2 campaigns that are about to end soon, so once either ends, yeah. Yeah, we got lots of German folks. And Trash Tendo, thank you for the follow. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hopefully that means we get to see you around more often. Ooh, and there is that link. Okay, let me see if this actually works. Oh, it does. Elemental Golem. Not bad. Lots of hit points. Although, yeah, this is definitely early combat stuff. Early level combat stuff. That was for a level 4 party, but ended up too weak. Yeah, I can already see that. 100 health sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. 16 AC as well. It seems like a lot, but generally, I think at level 4, I think your players are going to have, what, a 45% chance to hit at that? Usually? So just about 50-50. Anyways, you can see nothing, so guess bye, but tomorrow you'll be back. Well, I won't be streaming tomorrow because Sundays are one of my 2 days off, but hopefully we catch you on Monday, Trash Tendo, and thank you for the follow. And yeah, Scythro, this for a level 4 party, yeah, I can see how it would have gotten wrecked pretty quick. However, immutable form, sure. Magic weapons, not that it matters. Reach is cool. Golem attacks twice on its turn. Okay. Rib Tickles, are you leaving as well? You're saying adios amigos, like, to everyone. Slam, +6 to hit. Alright. Not bad. And technically, I don't think you needed to include the 10-foot reach on this, since it's got reach here. Or just not have reach here. You're not leaving. Oh, okay. You scared me, Rib Tickles. I love having you around. I don't want to lose you. You wanted it bulky, so you needed 4 turns. So you need 4 turns to show off all the runes. So it had to last for a long time. Fair. You know what you could have done, Scythro? Is you could have, with these 4 runes. Well, hold on. Before I say, let me actually look at these. Let me actually look at these. So with the Earth, it gains +4 to its AC against a single attack roll, not just a general +4, but only against one roll. I probably would have just made it a flat +4 while the Earth rune was up. Fire surrounds itself with heat. Creatures that start or end their turn within 10 feet of the golem take 2d4 fire damage. Start or end? So if a creature started their turn there and ended their turn there, they would end up taking 4d4 fire damage? That's a question. That's why a lot of creatures that Wizards puts out, or I think all of them that they put out that have an aura like that. Runic activation is a bonus action, Earth is reaction, etc. Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. But the auras are typically, they're just if a creature ends its turn, or when a creature enters the aura or ends its turn in the aura, it takes 2d4 fire damage. But I guess either way, it's still, hey, you were running it. I'm sure it would have just been 2d4 fire damage per turn if they were ever in the aura, which sounds about right. But then you just, yeah. Wording. Air rune. Any creature hit by the golem slam attack must make a DC 14 strength save or be pushed 5 feet away. I like that. And water. Golem heals for 1d6 plus 2 HP at the end of its turn. I like that too. I like this. This is clever. I like this a lot. I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna tweak it a lot because I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna steal this for my my end game stuff. In your defense, when you made this, you had half as much DM experience as you have now. You know what? No, it still looks good. It's just wording, and wording is always garbage in everything ever. You're gonna rework it to use it again. Yeah, no, this is good. I'm gonna steal this idea. I'm gonna steal this idea because I know exactly where I would use it in my end game, and this is definitely something that I want for my end game stuff. So if I can put out my own ideas for it, I think what I would do for endgame is I would bump this AC up to about 18. We'll bump it up to 20. No, I'm gonna be a dick. Because if it's endgame, I want to bump that AC up to 22. Okay? And this is like level 18 endgame stuff. I'm gonna bump that AC up to 22. The hit points for my players, and it completely depends. But for my players, I'd probably give this thing maybe close to 1,000 HP, honestly. But it completely depends on your players and how much damage they're able to put out in DPR. So, 1,000 HP, maybe even 1,500. Maybe even 1,500. But that's late game. Speed is good. I like that. Yeah, speed is good. I like that. Stats don't matter. You scale as you want to. All of this looks good. So what I would actually change for late game, One, I'm gonna let them. I'm gonna change the multi-attack. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give the golem 3 multi-attack. Okay, I'm gonna give it 3 attacks. Right. I'm also going to let it. I'm gonna give it multi-attack for 3 slams, or I'm gonna give it multi-attack for like 2 thrown boulders to give it range, to give it a ranged attack. Right. Then we do the runic activation. Earth, air, water, fire. This works perfectly for what I'd want to do. For Earth, I'd keep this +4 AC, but I'd make it a static +4. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna amend what I said about the hit points. I'm gonna amend what I said about the hit points. I would make it. I think I'd probably make it 300 HP, maybe 400 HP per rune. So it's not the golem that has the HP, but the runes that have the HP. Maybe. I don't know. That one's iffy. Anyway, so Earth, just static +4 to the AC. I'd also have it so while the Earth rune is active, the terrain around the golem counts as difficult terrain because it would just be a constant earthquake, right? Fire rune aura damage is perfect. I'd also throw in a fire breath attack for it, which would actually, while this rune is activated. Oh no, actually, you know what? No. Let's just give it the aura and have it do extra fire damage with its slams and its rock throws. Why not? It'd be like it'd be an ignition thing. Air. I would. What would I do? I'd double the move speed. I'd double the move speed. Hell, I might even give it a 60-foot fly speed with this rune. Just because. And then I'd probably keep the slam attack or slam attack save DC versus being pushed away, because I do like that one. I like that one a lot. The earth rune turning the area into difficult terrain would make it more difficult to escape the fire aura on the next turn. True. Or you just rearrange the order that the runes flip in. Or you turn it into a D4 roll, and every turn, it's no longer a bonus action to switch. It's just every turn, this golem's rune changes. You roll a D4. 1 is earth, 2 fire, 3 air, 4 water. And then it adds a little bit of randomness to it as well to see, how am I going to be fucking with my players this turn? Lots of options there. But I like the pushing away for the air. I like that. And then the water. The water is tough. I'd probably make it a flat regen. Like 30 or 40 HP that it regens at the end of its turn. You like the set order, makes planning for it more fun for the players. Sure. I'm also talking about like late game stuff where they should know stuff and they should be able to adapt to wildly changing things, on the fly. With all of their various magic items, their spells, so on and so forth. Early game for players that are just learning. No, you're right. Keep it steady. Keep it a certain order. Keep it very specific. Or if it's a puzzle encounter that you want to leave for your high level players, yeah, set it in that order. Give them that order. That you could do that as well. Either way, I think both ways are good. I think both ways are good. I can see the benefit for both. But the water one, so the healing, I'd probably just make it flat healing. I'd probably just make it flat healing, like 30 or 40 HP at the end of its turn. It just, boom, heals up. But what else would water do? If we do water as healing, we could also do water as freezing. Ice, maybe. But we already have extra damage, so here's the issue. We have an aura plus extra damage. We have difficult terrain plus AC increase. We have pushing plus, you know, extra movement or fly speed, something like that. What would we add to water? That's an interesting one. I'm gonna take this over here though, and I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna hold on to that Scythro, because I really like this. This is really good. I can tell it's like you planned it out. You worked that a lot. So I'm interested in actually I'm stealing that and I'm gonna use that because it's good. I like that. Zakora, you can see it being fun as hell in late game if the runes are decided by dice rolls. Yeah, so, you know, oftentimes just making it random can make it really fun, or applying different rules. Like if the players do so much damage to it while, you know, or if as soon as a player hits a certain damage threshold, the rune changes, or stuff like that. Maybe the golem is more sentient and more intelligent, so it changes the runes depending on what it needs at the time. Maybe a rune change could be a reaction, so it could pop a reaction to get that +4 AC, and then it's stuck in earth mode until the next round. So maybe it can only switch runes every round, but it gets to decide which one. There's a lot of stuff you can do. A lot of stuff. None of it is wrong. None of it is wrong. The water rune turned out to be the most underwhelming. You were thinking of making the golem slippery. Yeah, slippery golem works, but really only if they're trying to grapple. Yeah, that's a tough one, because you wouldn't want to make it like a cold aura, because there's already an aura. There's got to be something else though. Maybe. Oh, you know what you could do? You could make its attacks have Ooh. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm sitting here building it up in my head. I want to add stunned to it. I want to give it a condition. I want to let it apply conditions, right? And we know our conditions. Poisoned doesn't work. Sleeping is not gonna work. Well, actually, sleeping might work. You could make it like sleeping snow something. Or stunned. Stunned would work. You know, just a one-turn stun, or actually at that point it'd probably be a stun until you save against it, up to a minute. But add a condition to it. That's what I would do. Add a condition to it. Give it either to its attacks or as an aura. Give it or make it hand out conditions like candy on Halloween. Fuck it. They're a high-level party. They should be able to handle that. Low level, don't do it. Don't do it at low level. Low level. Low level. Actually, what you could do is players would just have disadvantage on their attacks against it. You could do that. Hey, Rib Tickles! Thanks for the 9 bits. Thank you. Off topic, but name any nation for you to play Hearts of Iron for, except Japan, and you'll play it. Also, you can say if you want me to go fascist, communist, etc. Let's do fascist Britain. Zakora says, imagine you have it rough versus a certain rune and the dice be like, so you wanted to keep that rune for 4 rounds? Exactly. Could you imagine these players going up against this golem? It starts out with the earth rune, and for 5 rounds straight, it's just earth rune, earth rune, earth rune, and they're getting frustrated as they can't hit it because its AC is so high. But then then it switches and it's like, oh, fire, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, the AC's down, but now everybody's on fire. And now they have to deal with that. And then they start whittling it down, and then it finally switches to water, and all of a sudden it's starting to heal. And it's just extremely frustrating, and yeah, it would be good. Zokora says fascist Liechtenstein. Want to see them try overrunning other countries. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, lots of stuff. I like this. It's a little too boxy though, isn't it? It's a little too boxy. So what if we do something like this? Kind of? Does this work? I think this might work. All right. So now we do this. Imperialist Switzerland, says Scythero. Sadly you can't play as city states in HOI 4. Oh, that's sad. That's unfortunate. Let's empty these out. And then let's empty this out. So it's nice and open. Okay, I like that a lot better. I like this a lot better. We're getting more detailed stuff. Oh, and we're not planning out what's inside everything as far as like furniture and all this other stuff. We're gonna go with basic layouts to figure all these different things out. Liechtenstein started to invade Austria. Austria shrugged their shoulders and invaded the now empty Liechtenstein. I mean, it's free real estate, right? Oh, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. Let me add a door. Can I add a door here? Does this add a door? Did I do this wrong? Nope, I didn't do it wrong. It's web-based. It's slow, but it's pretty good. Wait, can I just create a door? I can. Oh. So if I want a double door, I just do that. Oh, I like this tool a lot. And then what we can do is we're gonna take this one, and actually, I'm gonna do a huge opening, and then we're gonna do 2 massive double doors. I like this. I really like this, actually. What else? I don't know. I need you guys' help with this one, because so for this monk temple area, we've got the main temple. There'll be stuff going on there. I think training as well as the more spiritual stuff, everything's going to happen within the main temple. We've got our barracks building over here. This one I think is going to be more like storage and kind of cafeteria, dining area esque thing. Is this the central area? Yeah, it is. It is. Because these walls are going to be pretty much the outside of the temple, protecting the buildings and all of that. Outside of the walls, there will be like farm areas, garden areas, stuff like that. But generally, everything is going to be within here. Interesting. I wish I could drag and drop or move the map a bit rather than just zooming in and out. Do the monks have a history of being attacked? No, not really. No, not really. But I mean, they're also up in the mountains. Stuff historically, there's always raiders everywhere, so it's always smart to build up walls. Oh, I'm dumb. There's a wall tool. Go back. Okay, cool. There's a wall tool. I'll have to play around with that. But no. I wouldn't say the monks have a history of being attacked. If that question is in relation to why there's a wall, I mean, generally, if anything, the wall's there to help protect against a lot of the blunt force wind from the mountaintops and stuff like that, or help protect from snow just being blown in constantly from along the ground. So a lot of time, especially in winter, I guess there would be a large snow drift up against one or two sides of these walls. I'm sorry, what? There's an isometric view? Oh, I love isometric views. Oh no. What's fast draw mode? Increase redraw speed by temporarily simplifying the style. Oh, okay. Isometric is cool. Neat, yeah. No, I love isometric views. I took a drafting class in high school, and we drew on isometric paper all the time, and it was a great time. Killivid, welcome. Hello, welcome. Hi DPI. For Mac screens, has an impact on... Oh, okay. Show UI. Let's rough it up. Roughs up all dungeon layers. Roughness is reset when you draw. You can set roughness. Interesting. Ooh, full screen. Let's see how it looks in full screen. Okay, not too bad. Can I move it yet? I just want to be able to drag and move around the screen. If they're focused on astral projection and that kind of meditation, a rather bland and simplistic building style might be fitting. Maybe, potentially. That's a fair point. Kiloved, you're currently planning your next session, so just searching for ideas. Well, I'd like to say that you came to the right place. If you want to share a bit about what your session, what your campaign, what your game is about, we are more than happy to share ideas. I've got a ton of ideas, like a ton. What is it? F11? There we go. I've got a ton of ideas. I'll let you peek at my OneNote stuff, which is just full of things that I've built up and created. So please let me know if you have questions, you want to share ideas, you're looking for ideas for anything specific. That's what we're here for. Is that the temple we homebrewed the acupuncture blowgun for a few weeks ago? Yes, it is, Scythro. Yes, it is. Valscythe's... Where is it? Valscythe's Loathing. Yes. Kiloved, well, it's a Greek myth-based campaign. Right now, they're on the... I don't know how to pronounce that. Streaked? Street? Straight. Oh. Straight of the Peloponnese and up to... Okay. It was supposed to have a... Okay. Okay, interesting. Well, what kind of stuff are you, if you're wanting it to be more Greek myth based, what kind of stuff are you thinking you might want to put in there? Also, what level are your players? Big questions. Big questions. Oh, you can change the background color. Oh, I am. I'm just gonna keep gasping. I'm all excited. Evil torture dude. Okay. So what do you need help figuring out? Daedalus, the legendary artificer, made cool magic items. That's your first thought regarding Greek mythology, D&D. Yeah, true, but it depends on if Kiloved's game is high fantasy or not. Because if it's low fantasy, then there may not be a whole ton of magic items. And maybe they only want to use very specific Greek magic items. Like, oh, I don't know, the Golden Fleece, and isn't the Aegis Greek as well? And depending on where in history it is, because are you sticking with like more historical stuff, and are you going to feature some of the Greek heroes, or is this early on, or lots of questions. So you want like a psychological damage type of dungeon where he wants to make the players sacrifice stuff. Like a trap that immobilizes an arm or something. Level 4 and 5. Two players joined late. Okay. Okay. In that case, Daedalus, the only artificer ever, made a single magic item. Okay, Kiloved. This is good. Actually, and you may have actually come to the right place, because I like psychological stuff. I like messing with my players. Please don't make Hades a villain. Hades was doing a job, okay? That's it. They gave him a job, he did a job. Kiloved, hold on. I might have notes from other like one-shots and stuff that might help you. I have file cabinets full of like D&D notes and notebooks and shit like that. Nope. I don't think it's in here. Nope, not in this one. Oh, it's high fantasy set right after, right bang in the middle of the mythic era after Perseus and before the Iliad. Oh, okay. Neat. Zokor, he never was a villain. He's legit the most friendly Greek god of them all. Yeah, actually, I believe that one. Okay. Cool. This is it, actually. So the very first anything I ran, it was a Halloween one shot. And this is pointed at you, Kiloved. The villains are the giants. Good. So the very first thing I ever ran, and because of that, it's not great, but it was a Halloween one shot. And I tried real hard to make it somewhat psychological. I included a couple different puzzles, right? I included a sacrifice puzzle. I included a hallucination puzzle. I included an addiction puzzle. Okay. I also ran a homebrewed morale system. So I don't know how much of that you would actually want to use, but you're making it so no heroes existed except Perseus, where Heracles happily married Megara. There's a lot of names here that I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing. Was the king of treason and married Athra, so no Theseus. Atlanta was eaten by a bear, and Jason, his father, was killed. Ooh. So it's Greek mythology with a everything's going wrong twist. Although I don't think anything ever went right originally. So maybe it's all going right. So you took away all of the gods' entertainment? Yeah. You're very much out of your depth here, not that well versed in Greek mythology. Yeah, neither am I, Scythro. I know the common knowledge stuff, but not super in depth. It's definitely something that I need to learn a little bit more about. But Kiloved, for your like psychological warfare that you're gonna try to pull on your players, let's talk about that. There's a few different things that you can do. You can make your players suffer, or make your players' characters suffer physically. You can make the players suffer physically. I brought warheads. By the way, if you've never had a warhead, fruity candy covered in citric acid, super sour. I made my players eat a warhead every time they rolled a 1 at my table once, and it was great. But you can make your players' characters sacrifice physically. Iron Maidens, traps where they have to, cut off a finger, sacrifice blood, stuff like that. They're all good. What you could do is, if they're all like level 4 or 5, you could have a blood font. If you want to weaken them, you could have a blood font that takes, I don't know, a grand total of 30, 40 if you really want to be mean. Well, let's see. Level 4s and 5s, 4 of them. They're probably going to have about... Yeah, actually. So have a blood font that has like... It requires 40 HP or 50 HP worth of blood donated to it before it lets them progress. Super simple, but something to figure out. Yep, no heroes existed, so the gods are bored and gonna play with the players. so the players are the heroes. That's good. The players have the gods' attention, whether that's good or bad. I like that idea. Make it so Hera is annoyed by your players and constantly tries to mess with them. You have had a nuclear warhead smoothie as a dare. Absolute regret. Yeah. So there's stuff. You can mess with your players in person or mess with their characters. Are they expecting a reward at the end of the dungeon? Are they after a specific reward or just any? I'd assume Kiloved would have a goal for them, a reason why they'd be going there. But is likely just looking for stuff to put in. So yeah, like a blood font to sacrifice to. Make it a huge amount of blood that they would actually need to be able to progress. So much blood that it would very, very likely kill one single person or make them all sacrifice so much that it weakens them all quite a bit. You also have, I don't know how much like Saw you want it to be. I don't know how much like Saw you want it to be, because you could make them sacrifice a crown, have them sacrifice a crown, and that would literally just be scalping themselves. Stuff like that. Play on words a little bit, but make it super brutal. Illusions are a great way to mess with not just the player characters, but the players as well. Like an illusory Hall of Mirrors kind of situation. And then maybe every once in a while the reflections attack. Stuff like that. You're also using the piety from the Mythic Odyssey of Theros, so the players are a tad bit more powerful. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, sacrificial stuff. Make them sacrifice their HP to continue on, but also make it so finding a short rest is extremely difficult. Make a long rest within their impossible. I'm assuming you're running 5e, but if you're running another system, just say so. But yeah, make a full rest impossible within this place. 2 reasons. 1 is that their goal lies on the other side of the dungeon. 2, but they don't know it yet. That very important MacGuffin lies at the end. Perfect. So you've got your reason for them going. And 5e, okay, yeah. So make it impossible for them to long rest there. Have something, and you know what? Have something chasing them. This has been really helpful. Not a problem. That's what we hope for. Do you plan on bringing Nyx into the campaign? That's a good question. Also, it's Greek mythology. You've got a Minotaur that you could drop in at any point. Maybe that's what pushes them faster through the dungeon, or something like that. Maybe the dungeon is slowly flooding. I don't know where it is in your world, but have something that forces the players to keep moving, forces them into action. That would kind of prevent them from keep them from looking at the dungeon and these puzzles where you have to sacrifice actual HP or anything like that, and just going, this is fine, we'll rest right after this, and then we'll move on to the next one, do that, and then we'll rest after that, and yeah, we'll handle this. No. Make it urgent. Apply some urgency to it. Poisonous gas that slowly fills up the dungeon from one end to the next, or anything like that. Don't I worry, you have an ultra dungeon for the Labyrinth and Minotaur. Nice. And actually, Kiloved, if you're gonna run a Labyrinth, I'd be absolutely interested to see or to hear how you're gonna run a Labyrinth, because I would love to put my players in a maze. And thanks for the follow. Awesome. I appreciate that. I really, really do. You guys have no idea how much that means to me. Yeah, I'd love to hear how you would run a maze or a labyrinth, because I've played in a game, a Wizards of the Coast published book that had a labyrinth in it. It was like a hedge maze, and it was just kind of like it was the, if you go the right way, then you progress. If you go the wrong way, then you're still right where you were. And that's just a trial by fire kind of thing, and they're not quite as fun. So I'd love to hear how you're going to run that labyrinth, because I want more ideas on mazes and how to make them more fun, how to make them more interesting. Yeah, mazes are hard in a TTRPG. Scythro. Oh, well, here, let me read up. Zokora. So either way, if they're in her favor or not, can be an advantage, disadvantage. Yeah. Scythro. I like to use hints of previous adventures in dungeons. Where did people go and where did they end up? Do we follow their steps or go into the unknown? Obviously, they weren't successful, but to what point were they? Ooh, that's a good one, too. Actually, I like that. And, raise your hands if you've ever played Final Fantasy IX, because I'm going to use this as an example, but it's kind of like that. Final Fantasy IX, and I hope some of you raised your hands. Final Fantasy IX has a point in it where you have to go through these like haunted woods, kind of, and it's a super easy puzzle, but I love the concept, and it kind of plays into what you said, Scythro, about hints of previous adventurers. And what the puzzle is in that game, in that like haunted woods, is you're trying to get through the woods to get to a small village, right? And the game gives you a hint. It's like the village is so far in the woods, or it's so deep in the woods, even the owls don't go there, or something like that, right? And if J-Ron's still lurking, or if he's even in here, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But you go through, and as you step into these woods, you see owls, and there's paths. It's a forked path, right? It's a forked path. And there's owls in the trees, but if you look, the owls are only ever on one of the paths, right? So you take the path that doesn't have the owls. It's kind of the same thing. Like, if you're following the path that has all the dead bodies, that's probably the wrong path, because everybody died going this way. You know the pattern by heart now? See, J-Ron knows. He's been speedrunning Final Fantasy IX. Oh, you ripped that straight out of Final Fantasy IX? See, I told you. I said this is in Final Fantasy IX. But I'm glad Zokora knows it. I love that. But yeah, that's the kind of thing. So playing off of Scythro's like hints of previous adventurers, that's a good one as well. It may be your most favorite game ever. Zokora, you are among like-minded folks. We love Final Fantasy IX here. But playing off of that, that's a really, really good way of doing a maze, because you can follow the bodies, but if you're following all the dead bodies, why would you go the same path that everybody died on? Because obviously that's your hint that you're going the wrong way. You should be following the path where there are no bodies, where there are no signs of any adventurers, because they were the ones that successfully got through the maze. Yeah, that kind of thing. So I like that idea. I like that idea. And it may not be how you originally intended it, Scythro. You may have intended it as follow the wall markings of previous adventurers that tracked their way through, but you know, even wall markings can be misleading. Or, you know, follow these people's breadcrumbs. You know, that works if your labyrinth doesn't have rats in it. Rib Tickles, breaking news. Several violent fascist marches orchestrated by the British Union of Fascists have now started a civil war in the UK. Oh boy, you really did go fascist Britain, didn't you? So the UK is in civil war. Now the fascists in Britain feel that the only option is to fight. Ooh, that's rough and too real, guys, too real. Okay, so Kiloved, in your mazes, you usually have multiple paths that both have content, and a riddle has a clue to the correct path. The correct path still has a puzzle, or straight up encounter, but the wrong path has traps and a surprise encounter. As they get further through, the players are low on HP and want to desperately follow the path. Okay. You also like obvious paths where a dais has a proper marker where, with a vase or something, but the two paths provide the two pieces of the vase. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So you kind of run it similarly. Kind of run it similarly, where it's a maze of rooms rather than a maze of paths. Makes me think that a Final Fantasy IX based adventure would be fun as hell. Absolutely. You can run a Final Fantasy based TTRPG. Actually, check this out. I googled it a few months ago. There is a homebrewed Final Fantasy TTRPG. Like, Square Enix never came out and made one, but fans of Final Fantasy made a Final Fantasy TTRPG, and I'm pretty sure you can get it for free. I'm pretty sure you can find it for free online. Just something to look into, folks. But yeah, no, that's right. And okay, so running a maze room by room. So it's a maze of rooms, not a maze of paths. And that's kind of where I've fallen. Right? That's kind of where I've fallen, because I know that a maze of rooms is really, really easy to play out in an RPG. But the maze of paths, it literally ends up being, okay, well, you come to an intersection. Are you going to go left, right, or straight? And then they go, oh, well, we're going to go this way. And it's like, okay, well, you follow this path and it turns left and then it turns right. And then you're at another intersection. Are you going to go left, right, or straight? Oh, we'll go straight, and so on and so forth. So it gets a little boring. I'd like to be able to have my players do something like that, or they do an actual maze of paths, but it's hard. It's really hard. Also, for context, Procrustes? Procrustes? I don't know how to pronounce that one. Is the guy who invented that one stretcher bed where he stretches the person if the bed is too short and rips their limbs off, or what is that called? What is that called? I know what torture device you're talking about. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Google, I need you. Stretching torture device name. Rack. Cool. That one. Okay. This isn't looking terrible. This isn't looking terrible at all. Regular polygon. Oh. Well, I don't mind if I do. Sides. Oh, you can change. Can we do one side? One side is a circle. Ooh. Oh, this is cool. That's really cool. Oh no. I destroyed my my monk temple. Woo. Scythro, you ran a maze recently and you asked your players, what does your character do to help navigate the maze and what skill would they use? See, that's another good way of doing it. I like that. I had them roll, and based on the combined total, I put them into different encounter rooms that were either closer or further from the exit. Smart. What thing am I making? I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of designing my monk temple-ish thing, but I'm also playing around and just learning this dungeon scrawl web-based tool because it looks cool and it's fun. Yeah, it doesn't play out the actual maze part, but the repeated rolls and slow progress made it just as frustrating. Yeah, that's fair, actually. So it's a, what do you call that? That's a group skill challenge, I think is what they're called. And yeah, that works. You could definitely do that. And I've thought about doing it that way. It's a good method. It's a good method. For sure. Excuse me. What's the monk temple for? Okay. Yeah, I guess Killaved, you don't know this. My players, one of them has an NPC brother that had gone to this monk temple because he made another character and he was like, hey, if my character dies, can I play this one? And I was like, sure, whatever. He's like, great. Until then, can we put him in the world somewhere? I was like, sure, why not? So that character's a monk. It's now his current character's brother. Goes here to this monk temple to train and do monk stuff. And the players had ended up leaving the material plane for about 3.5 years. Because they were in the Feywild for like 3 weeks, something like that. And they got back and ended up getting, because he had sent a few letters before he left. His brother, when they got back, he found out that his brother had sent out a bunch more letters over that 3.5 years, trying to reach him and trying to find him and just, being like, hey, where did you go? Hopefully these are still reaching you, that kind of thing. But the last letter was like, hey, something's off, something's wrong. We've gotten some new recruits at the temple and there's something not right about them, but the elders don't see it, yada yada, blah blah blah. And then that was the last letter. So he was like, I want to go check on my brother. So the party agreed. So they're gonna go to check on their brother. So this temple is where his brother was with various other monks. But when they get there, they're gonna find that there are no more monks here. That the place actually has a bit of a devil problem. Because of something that the party had done before, but they don't really realize that they've done it. I'm waiting for them to connect all the dots and stuff. I leave that up to them rather than explaining it to them. But yeah, so it's just unfortunate luck that these devils decided to go to a monk temple and torture the inhabitants into either agreeing to sell their souls or tortured them long enough to where they just ended up dying or killed the ones that fought, stuff like that. So yeah, there's no more monks here. The temple is really story stuff for the barbarian going out to find his brother. They're gonna find that his brother's not here. There's devils infesting the place. And also they have a key for a puzzle that's here, but they don't know that the key is for a puzzle that's here. Kind of. I don't know. They have an object. They know it came from this temple, but they don't know that it's a key. And they don't know what it goes to. That's probably the best way I can explain it. So, yeah. Just creating map for the temple, so I have a kind of a rough idea of where they're going and what they're going to be doing. Yeah, that's about it. So that's what this monk temple is for. And right now, hold on. Hold on. I'm looking at this and I don't like it. Oh no! Not the circle. No! I'm still on the circle. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this a little more woo. So the map is the only thing left. Neat. No, this is me planning kind of a battle mat. But it's not something that I'm gonna lay out in front of the players. It's more for me, so I know exactly where everything is. I like to draw out my maps. In fact, let me grab my notepad. Let me grab my graph paper. This is what I usually work in. Is a just a pad of like graph paper, and I will write up maps in this. Oh, and look at that! I've got papers from a game that you play. I don't remember where I saw this. I think it was like an Imager post or something like that. But super fun game if you've got graph paper. You've got 2 dice and you've got colored pencils. Super fun graph game. And I hold on to those because it helps keep my or it helps give me map ideas. Your players use theater of the mind. We have been for a while. I know that my players don't like to. They prefer a map, but I've been really lazy on map creation lately. And like doing all of that stuff. So but yeah, here's an example of one of my maps. I like to be able to just sit down and draw on actual graph paper, and I know that view's not great, but I like to plan stuff out. I won't put this down in front of my players. I won't put it down in front of them, but it's mostly for me, so I know how to describe things. I know how to ask where they're going and all of this other stuff. And that way I don't lose track of where they are and I don't end up confusing myself or them. Also helps knowing if they're going to run into traps or anything like that. And I can more easily describe where, like, if they're in a hallway full of doors, I can describe where these doors are if they're not evenly spaced out or anything like that. I like to plan that stuff. I like to have visuals for myself to help keep track of where they are. And that's what we're doing here, or that's what I'm doing here. It's just giving myself visuals. So I'm gonna take that out. Then I'm gonna take this out. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Because what if, how many did we say were going to actually be here? I don't remember how many we said we were actually going to have housed here. You'll run a really difficult session tomorrow. Would ranting talking about it be okay? It's a bit of a long one. Sure, go for it, Scythro. I don't mind. A cool image would be some sort of statue of a goddess or a great monk that's been corrupted or bleeding or crying black blood or something. I like the idea. I like the idea. It wouldn't fit this one too well because they're monks that practice the way of the astral self. And they're more attuned to like nature spirits and astral projection and all that kind of thing. So that's kind of what I'm going with here. So really no real statues of anything. But that's not a bad idea because I could definitely do something like that in another town that I have. Because I've planned out a bunch of towns that have like fallen to cults or they've got a demon infestation or something like that. So that's not a bad idea. I like that idea, and I may use that elsewhere. A demon might be inside the statue. It sounds like I don't know what game that is. I don't know which book that is, but there's a campaign written by Wizards of the Coast. They have a big like obelisk thing outside of a cave, and if the players mess with the obelisk, it lets out a demon. And then the demon's supposed to be powerful enough to where it kills the whole party. Yeah. Sounds pretty similar. Not that that's bad, but no. It's a good idea though. I like that. But for this one, no, the players are definitely going to end up encountering devils here. And I'm going to give them the opportunity to not kill them. You seen the Puffin Forest video, didn't you? Yeah, that's who I was trying to think of, Puffin Forest. If you haven't watched Puffin Forest stuff on YouTube, it's worth a look. Worth a look. And he has a story about that, about playing in that game. Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion would be a good one to run a game off of as well. A lot of good inspiration from that one. But yeah, no, the devils here, they're not just going to be out in the open and, welcoming the players. The players are definitely going to come upon them, but it's not going to be immediately aggressive. It's not going to be immediately aggressive because I want to give the players the option to kind of make a deal with the devil and see what it gets them. Because the devil wants something that's here. That's it. Just wants stuff. Not looking for anything specifically, but just wants to take whatever's here. And the players will have the option of either helping it or not. Side throw, the entire campaign is a balance act of fueling inter-party conflict while giving them goals they can only reach together. 2 sessions ago, Character 1 found out about an NPC important to Character 2 and split from the party to talk to the NPC before Character 2 could. You ran a one-on-one session with Character 1 and they screwed up massively. NPC now hates Character 1 and is holding them hostage. Okay. That's pretty extreme. You also ran a session with the rest of the party. They met up with NPC. Tomorrow's session will start with a third party who are trying to kill NPC, freeing Character 1 and finding NPC and the rest of the party. And with how things are going, combat with players on both sides seems very likely. Okay. Interesting. Why? I have to ask Scythro. Why and how did the NPC end up taking Character 1 hostage? Because normally, he'd have to have, done something horrible to not make the NPC just hate them, but to make them think that they were a threat or something. I'm interested in hearing the reasoning behind that. That's really weird. I'm gonna kinda... What if I do this? I don't like sharp corners too much. Makes it seem too blocky, you know? You know? Like maybe this will work out better. Can I do a wall like this? Double click to end. Oh, okay. I should read. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay, so click, click, double click. Click, click, double click. Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, now that I'm learning the tool, I'm liking it more. Rib Tickles with breaking news. Just a bit over a month after the British Civil War began, the Democrats have now been split in half, and Birmingham has fallen to the Black Coats, the fastest. Ooh, Black Coats. I like that. Now Liverpool has been surrounded and is being sieged as we speak. There's also been reports that Black Coat soldiers have been seen moving to the defection of the Democrats' capital, London. Interesting. Direction. Moving in the direction of the Democrats' capital, I'm assuming. Kiloved, in a campaign, you were a player and another player stole a chair when the DM said take your seats and died in federal prison. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Fantastic. Okay, I'm liking this tool more and more. I just wish there was a way for me to like move around the map that I've created, because I can zoom in and out. But that's about it. Okay, that looks quite a bit better, right? Adds a little more... I don't know. Adds a little more something. Oh, why'd I double click? I don't know why I double clicked. Okay. Okay, this is way better. Interesting. Let's see. Scythro. NPC guards the personal Feywild portal of the maybe evil Fey Queen. Fey Queen erased C2's memory, but C1 restored them. NPC also had their memories altered by the Fey Queen and is now brainwashed into extreme loyalty. Okay. C1 found them at the center of a hedge maze next to the portal and was subdued by vines controlled by NPC. Oh. Okay. Interesting. You're a brave one for running a game like that, Scythro. You're a brave one. Because I'm not sure I'd be able to actually run something like that, because there's a lot of twists and turns to it. Although, well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I guess anybody could run that. But no, that sounds interesting. Very, very interesting. Kilovad, it would make sense if there was nothing in the room, and once they solve a puzzle of some sort, get transported to the astral plane with the encounter and actual temple. Would make sense for astral monks. That's powerful. That's powerful. Something that transports the players, the enemies, and the entire temple to the astral plane. That is powerful. Not saying it's bad, but considering my players just got back from the Feywild, I don't think I want to throw them back into a whole other plane, because they have shit they have to take care of on the material plane. I like that idea. I like that idea of transporting an entire temple to another plane. I like that. I do like that. I'm not gonna implement it, but it's not bad. Scythro, there's so much intrigue going on. You have a player hating the Fey Queen with a passion, and another player playing an Archfey Warlock secretly serving them. Oh, ooh, spicy. I like that. I like that a lot. Am I still? I am. What is going on here? Zakora, thank you for the follow. Holy crap. Thank you guys so much for all of your follows today. It's been a great day for that. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. But it'll do. Okay. True that, yeah. Rib Tickles with more breaking news about his black coats taking Liverpool, making all-out charge for London. It sounds like your game is going crazy, Rib Tickles. Scythro, you're just playing out the NPCs at this point, having them try to achieve their goals, whether the campaign ends in tragedies. Yeah, you know what? That's actually why initially I was like, "Ooh boy, that is complicated. That's real complicated. That game has got to be crazy." But the more I think about it, like, you create the world, you play the NPCs. As long as you only have a couple, it's not that complicated in the end. It really isn't. So no, that's actually like great. I don't know if you're watching me do this, but I'm actually having a lot of fun. It may not seem like it because there's literally no excitement in my face as I'm doing this, but I'm really having a lot of fun playing with this mapping tool. I love this kind of stuff. I love this kind of stuff. No. What if we do something like... No. What am I doing? Oh, that's why. Oh, right. It's getting used to... That do it? Okay, cool. I like pillars. I like pillars in my games. I like, although I always do them square. Why am I doing them square? I don't have to. I don't have to. Let's do something crazy. Let's do something I've never been able to do. Well, that's not true. I've been able to do it. Why am I making square pillars? Like, square pillars work, but I want to see how, well, ooh. No, I want to do round pillars. I want to do round pillars. I was going to say, like, maybe round or square pillars kind of fit the aesthetic a little bit better, but no, I want to do round pillars with these, like, 90-degree angles. I think this is going to be great. Kiloved, you're right now designing a naval battle against a gargantuan sea turtle being ridden by a pirate. All right. You know, funnily enough, I think that fits. I think a pirate riding a sea turtle. I think that fits. Because they both want gold, right? Breaking news, Anubis discovers circles. Don't pick on me. I am precious. Circle? Oh, wait, hold on. Ooh, I can't draw. I'm gonna have to do the no. I went silent. I realized I went silent. I'm sitting here thinking, like, I discovered circles. You guys, I know you've never heard of this, but circles, man. Fucking circles. I feel like that video of the guy that's like I think it's a British sketch. The guy who's like, fucking chickens. They make eggs. You sell them for money. That's what I feel like right now. Scythro, third-party freeing C1 is a group of wizards trying to combat the random Feywild portals opening up everywhere. Being okay, C1's a wizard themselves, might join them. Seeking knowledge about the Feywild and portals and tried to talk an NPC without C2 present. Oh, interesting. Big shout out to your players for actually pulling off a game that's 90% inter-party conflict and extremely high emotional stakes. No, fantastic. Your players sound great, Scythro. Rib tickles. Uh-oh, London's under siege by the fascist blackcoats. We'll see. We'll see, Rib Tickles. I think Britain's gonna be completely fascist after this. Kilomed, wait till he finds out hexagons. Fucking hexagons. Yo, what about octagons? Or nonagons? Are they nonagons? Decagons too? No, there's a lot of stuff here. And I love this. Oh, we're gonna put circles everywhere. Oh, that gives a nice roundedness to it too. Not that I want the roundedness, because I'm gonna do something a little wacky. And any architecture buff out there is gonna go, what are you doing? Stop! But I don't care. We live life on the wild side. No, I don't like this now. I don't like as I'm doing this, I don't like this. But this is good because you know how this is like saving so much eraser and pencil lead and all of that. No, I have a better idea. Pretzel Bomber, thank you for the follow. What is going on? What am I doing? Playing around with this. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, cool. We're back here. Let me do this real quick. We're not erasing, right? No. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's a... Okay. 1, 2. Oh no. Well, we don't want that, do we? It got a little wonky. 1, 2, double click. The tool's not perfect. See? Yeah. Pretzel Bomber, you just got here and already looks like something you want more of. Well, I guess I'm glad to hear that. You're pretty sure you can make irregular shapes like semicircles or hemicircles, Kiloved? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to play around with and see what I can do. I don't want this though. Whatever this is that I've created. Because the draw tool is being mean. Thin path tool. Okay, hold on. Let me erase. 1, 2. Double click. Should erase it, right? It's still doing this. Oh. Okay. We'll just do this. I don't care. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little behind on chat. I'm sitting here fucking with this thing and I'm just, yeah. Try holding the mouse still for a second and then clicking twice. Yeah, maybe that's my issue. Oh. Ugh. Okay. Rib tickles with more breaking news. London has fallen. Yep, I think we're right. Side throw, like C2's goals are aligned with that of the Wizards, but NPC is basically the only family they ever had. Okay. Wizards would not show mercy to NPC. Okay, so there is a lot of conflict, isn't there? You could talk about this for literal hours. You have a 30-page document just for lore? Oh boy. That's a read, man. Wish you luck. Yeah, absolutely. I wish you luck running combat, man. And honestly, if you're gonna have PCs fighting on both sides, and it's gonna be PvP, generally, you won't have to do a whole lot. Okay. So, we did the erase. We're kind of using this tool backwards. We're definitely using this tool backwards. Because we're trying to build within a negative space, and this tool is made for creating negative spaces. Rib Tickles breaking news. Leader of the UK has been seen boarding a boat in the city of Dover with boxes of money. Ooh. That's funny. Okay. 1, 2. Double click. That should create a wall, but it didn't. See, now it freeformed. and I don't know why. I don't know what it's doing. So let's do this. It was working earlier. No, it's not. Oh wait. Okay, now we're gonna cut. So we're gonna do this. Just so it leaves the outside walls, takes out the inner walls. You're only up to session 4 and already have a 10,000 word doc. So it has to be said, and I know people say this all over the place, but try not to overplan too much. Try not to overplan too much. But if you guys are having fun writing all that lore, go for it. But if you feel like you have to, know that you don't. Zokora, bro, I feel that if I would make lore for a world, it would take at least 30 pages as well. Yeah. I mean, I've flipped back to my OneNote here, and I've got tons of stuff. All these different cities, various things that I need to build for. A lot of stuff that I just haven't. If I go to this one, RNA has a lot. I've got my Feywild stuff here. This is my city in the Feywild. There's a lot of stuff. You can go completely off the rails. And yeah, it happens. You do end up building a lot of stuff. The rectangle tool is better for straight wall segments. Yeah, that's what I'll just use that. What was I doing? Oh, right. Can I make one-sided? Cool. We're gonna set it to erase, but it's not really erasing anything. Oh, that's not what I wanted. We'll just do that and then hit back. That's more of what I wanted. I messed that up though, didn't I? Is there a I haven't even looked at a lot more of these tools and whatnot. I've really only messed with the UI stuff over here. What is over here? And where my camera is, it just shows like layers and stuff, so you guys aren't missing much there. Is this a crypt? Pretzel Bomber? No, I'm kind of planning out something of a monk temple-ish thing. So yeah, that's kind of what we're building here. Kiloved, you're yet to plan more than one session ahead ever. Yeah, I've learned it's best to not plan more than, 1 or 2 sessions ahead, because honestly, you almost never know what your players are going to do unless you're railroading them. And we can go into a huge conversation on like sandbox versus railroad. We could do a whole rant about that. But yeah, generally best not to plan too far ahead. Mostly because I've learned that every single game is railroaded. Every single game is railroaded. The only difference is the DM doing the railroading or are the players doing the railroading? That's it. If the DM's doing the railroading, you can plan an entire campaign ahead and not have to change hardly any of it as you play. If your players are railroading the game, which means that they're getting to choose, typically folks would call that sandbox. No, it's not sandbox. It's still railroaded because the players are determining what railroad they want to follow or what tracks they want to follow. But yeah, if it's a player railroaded game, then it's best often to just plan, 1 or 2 sessions ahead and never think that much farther ahead as far as story and plot and all of that goes. Me, I'll plan out a city. I will plan out a full-on city. I'll name the shops and everything. I'll put NPCs in there, but I'm not gonna, plan out how the NPCs are gonna react to the party if they ever show up. Nah, that's usually done on the fly. Yeah. Scyther, you like to plan out the actions of important NPCs long term, and the sessions are basically points where PCs and NPCs clash. Yeah, that's a good one too. Afterwards, NPCs will readjust their plans. Yeah, that's actually how I do it, kind of. In that, I always know what my NPCs are going to be doing. I know where my BBEG is. I know what they're doing. I know whether they are aware of the party or not. I know all of that. And that stuff is going to keep continuing on and on and on and on until, the players interact and change that. Oh, Killaved, no cussing for 10 minutes. You're lucky because my stream has about 10 minutes left. Let me put the timer on. I'll get my phone going. Up. Okay. Normally I have an on-screen timer, but I'm just going to use my phone timer. So I've got 10 minutes on the timer. No cussing. That's going to be hard for me to do. But yeah. And actually brings me to a great point. I'm gonna cut this off on the hour-ish. Well, I'm gonna cut this off after that timer ends. Killaved. And yeah, because it's Saturday. Saturdays are my actual, I go and play D&D with my friends days. But we only do it essentially every other Saturday. So today, we're still going over there, but it's going to be board games and stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Stuff to spice up our lives so we're not always playing D&D. Assuming you started from an empty room and no knowledge of the program, pretty good work. Thanks. I would be much farther along if this was on pen and paper. Or if I had my pencil and graph paper. And I'd love to do that. I just don't have a second camera to set up to where you guys can see my workspace. Eventually, I'll probably do that. Until then, I'm probably going to be exploring tools like this, whether they're web-based or whether they're actual installed apps or software, stuff like that. We'll see. But yeah. Wait after lunch D&D or 11:30 D&D? Because 11:30 is quite awkward. No. What do you mean, Killaved? If you're wondering about the time, it's almost 4 p.m. here. It's almost 4 p.m. So unfortunately, because my wife plays with us and she works until about 4:15 on Saturdays. Right, time zones. Yeah, exactly. But she's pretty much who we wait on. So we don't get to go play until she's off work, which again brings me back around to the whole she should be getting a better position and no longer working weekends in a few weeks. So that'll be great. Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m. for you. Wow. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough, buddy. But yeah, no, I'd like to explore other tools like this. and kind of mess around with them a bit. There was another one that I had used like a year ago, and I'm gonna see if I can find it, because it was an actual installed app, and it worked similar to this, a little bit better. But this one has been great, actually. This one's been great, and I'm gonna keep this up because it's a good starting point. It's a good starting point for me. But yeah, so stream's gonna end here in 7-ish minutes. I do appreciate everybody sticking around. If you're interested in seeing this stuff, I do these these D&D planning campaign sharing streams every single Saturday, because it's not only it's my time. It's my time that I use to plan out my own sessions and get all of this stuff figured out. Some stuff I'll do, off camera, but generally most of it is done here with you guys. And it's been absolutely fantastic. You guys have helped me flesh out my campaign and my encounters so far, and made them better. Generally made them better. And it also gives me a chance to actually talk to somebody about all of my ideas and stuff that I have. And Scythrone knows, he's been here forever, but yeah, we go over lots of stuff. My D&D streams are probably your favorite place to hang out on Twitch. I'm glad to hear that, Scythro. I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, I do these every Saturday. Every Saturday, you will find me here streaming my campaign planning, my idea sharing, stuff like that. And then Mondays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you will find me still on Twitch streaming Lord knows what, because lately it's been Slay the Spire, and the last couple, yesterday's was kind of meh, but Thursday's Slay the Spire was an absolute blast. People had me not cussing for like 2.5 hours straight, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done, and there were some pretty great clips that came out of that. But then also, if you guys haven't ever checked out Worldbox, it's a god simulator game. I use it to pit my viewers against each other, and I run tournaments. And you can see in my About section on my Twitch page, the leaderboards for who won or who wins each tournament. And I will be running those every Monday and Friday at the end of my streams from now on. Because there were some requests to do them more often, so we'll do those more often. So feel free to stop by for those. I know those are probably way late for anybody over in the EU or Germany or wherever, but if you do show up, they're fun. You get to interact, you get to have your own kingdom in the game, and you also get to wreak havoc and use all kinds of god powers, like dropping nuclear bombs and dropping earthquakes and meteorites and devil spawning flame towers and turning people into mushroom zombies and all sorts of stuff. It's great. Yeah, I'm waiting on that timer now. But no, I'm really grateful for you guys. I like being able to chat with you guys. Scythro, I'm glad you show up. Killaved, thank you for the follow. Pretzel Bomber, thank you for the follow. Zokora, thank you for the follow. Rib Tickles, thank you again for hanging out and the bits. Trash Tendo, a follow. Killermon, a follow. I got a ton of follows this stream. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome, and I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me, you guys. So yeah, I'm waiting on the timer. I've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. But yeah, hopefully I see you guys around. I'm usually streaming about this time, or I usually start at about 1 p.m. ish. For my time, which would be about 3 hours ago, wherever you are. But yeah, so if you make this stream, you'll very likely make my other streams if you want to hang out. redeem more no cussing for 10-minute rewards and various other things. And yeah, I'm always trying to find other ways so for you guys to kind of mess with me and have your own fun in my streams. And I always love chatting with you guys. You'll only be able to make it on my Fridays and Saturdays, but you'll come when you can. Not a problem. You know what, Killaved? That means a lot to me. I have absolutely no expectations. It's literally, I only say it because if you guys like this, I want you guys to know when you can come hang out. That's it. I have no expectations. But you know, saying that it does. It means the absolute world to me. You guys are great. Could you extend the stream indefinitely by redeeming 10 more minutes of no cursing? No. Somebody tried that on Thursday. No, but what would happen is, Scythero, what would happen is whatever you did redeem, I would start my next stream with that. So there's that. But yeah, thank you for the follows, guys. Thank you for the bits, rib tickles. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for helping me figure this out. Play around with this tool. If you haven't seen this before and you want to check it out, I only discovered it today. But Dungeon Scrawl, it's just Google it. You'll be able to find it super easy, and it's web based, so it should be accessible to pretty much everybody. Yeah, and I guess to end the stream, we'll see if there's anybody we can raid. I like to try to finish my stream off with a raid, and share the love with everybody else. And right now, I've got 2 people on my list who, you know, they're in my typical raid list. We have my friend Rhiannon playing League of Legends, or another guy playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus, however you want to pronounce it. Whoever says first, that's who will raid. Whichever game you guys want to see. Time's up. So, League of Legends or Pokemon? Up to you guys. PLA? We can do that. We can do PLA. Yeah, that works. And the guy, Slip and Slide Gaming, seems like a good guy. And he's chatty too. So you guys, if you want to chat with him, please do so. Have fun with it. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead and start the raid for him. This will be good for him. We'll share the love. And if you guys are curious about the music that I play during my streams, it's literally just GameChops on YouTube. GameChops on YouTube. They do all sorts of like video game and yeah, mostly video game remixes and stuff like that, and stuff from animes and various things. So they're really great. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll raid Slip and Slide Gaming. Let them know you said hey from my stream. Give them some love. And hopefully I catch you guys later. Yeah, thank you all again for everything that you've done, for all the help, all the sharing. I absolutely love it. And hopefully I catch you guys next time. See ya.